something that has been quite topical in the financial markets when it comes to government spending has been the issue of economic growth or lack thereof. Our view is that the primary issue is not so much a fiscal one, but more a structural one. And this has been the case even before the COVID-19 pandemic. The main concern is that the rate at which the South African economy is growing has not been sufficient to support consumers and certainly not businesses, which both form a critical part of the country's GDP and have direct implications on the financial markets. So one thing that we were looking for from the finance minister's budget speech was a sign of adequate resource allocation. The minister announced a commitment of 791.2 billion rands in infrastructure investment, which is a positive. But the concern is that a lot of this investment will be going into replenishing the depleted infrastructure as opposed to developing new infrastructure. We believe that the pre-existing social ills will be exacerbated when we come out of the pandemic, and this will result in more strain on the South African economy. This was evident yesterday with the unemployment rate figures that were released by Stats SA. We are not seeing a reduction in unemployment. Youth unemployment is also increasing, and that has negative implications on the economic recovery of the country. He forecasted the rebound in economic growth to be 3.3% this year, and that's from a contraction of 7.2% in 2020. There is a low base effect in that number, and he announced that post this, they forecast that the economy will grow at an average rate of 1.9%. We believe that this is still insufficient to support the economic recovery in an efficient way. The issue of structural reforms has also been quite topical in the financial markets. The concern in this space is the slow pace at which it is all taking place. It will be interesting to see what the government does in terms of the state-owned entities and Eskom being a critical one. We believe that the current environment is being quite supportive to the commodities sector, and that the commodity price rally will give back to the country's fiscus through royalties and taxes. But should the Eskom issue not be sufficiently and properly addressed, this will remain a drag on the country's fiscus.